Hello and welcome to this week's Query of the Week. So this week, we were approached by a client who their client wanted to some way incentivise an employee who was a key employee. The shareholders were afraid that that employee would leave, so they were suggesting maybe would be a way that they could some way introduce him into the company, but not necessarily give him any value that has occurred before this date. So I suppose in response to that, obviously there are various options in response to them. The option that they took was that they introduced a growth scheme effectively. So what I mean by a growth scheme is effectively whereby, when the individual, the key employee is brought into the company, they will share in the growth of the company above the date from that date effectively. So just taking the example here, a company worth €1 million, the existing shareholders, what had happened there is that the rights of the existing shareholders, you call it the A shares, you put in the rights to say that they're only entitled to dividend of at least €1 million on a winding up, on dividends, on a future sale at that point in time. So that you'll adjust your rights in relation to that. Then you'll issue a new B share to shareholder. The shareholder, that B share will effectively give them rights to whatever percentage the individuals want to give to that employee, but it will only get value above the 1 million that are allocated to the A shares. So in that particular case, the way it worked out and incentivized the employee was that this company was growing. There was a good ability that this company would be 2 million in 3-4 years time. So by having the employee own, in this particular case, they gave him 7% of the company. He could gain from the uplift from 1 million to 2 million. So it was a good incentivization for that employee as a result. Obviously, the key thing from a tax perspective here that you always have to consider is, when you're issuing shares, you can't value shift. But I suppose the argument against any tax issues here was that they had done a very stringent valuation of the company in relation to that million. So, they were happy that was the 1 million. So effectively, when the employee introduced shares, he didn't get anything of any value. He got shares in a company which he wasn't going to get any value until it went above 1 million. So that was your reason why there wouldn't have been any stamp duty, any CGT value lifting, or any potential POI, PRSI issues in relation to the payment or the issuance of shares to employee because of the fact there was no value in them. So that's kind of analysis of how that worked out. And there are other types of schemes that might work better depending on the company if it wasn't growing. Like you could have keep schemes. Some people don't like to do shares at all, and that they put in what's called phantom shares, which are shares effectively that are notional shares, and it's more like how your bonus is calculated based on performance as opposed to being issued shares. And these will all be kind of discussed in our webinar that we're doing on incentivizing key employees. So if you're interested in this area, please log in for a webinar on the 3rd of April. And thanks very much for listening to me.